They're seen as an existential threat by some Pakistanis and by others as the guardians of the country's Islamic identity. But all that may be changing after the latest election sent men like Muawiyah Azam into Punjab's provincial parliament. Their election is part of an effort by the powerful security establishment to persuade extremist and militant groups to give up violence. Azam is the deputy leader of the Ahl Sunnah wal Jamaat, or Party for Sunnis. We met him while he was campaigning.
We believe we can achieve our legitimate goal in Parliament because it's a sovereign institution in a democratic country like Pakistan. Taking an AK-47, firing bullets, or indulging in violence are illegal means, which we never liked or adopted.
Ahl Sunnah wal Jamaat is the latest name for the Sipai Sahaba Pakistan organization. It was founded in 1985. It began as a front to turn Pakistan into a Sunni theological state as a reaction to the rise of Shia political activism following the Iranian Revolution in 1979. It initially was an extremist political group, but its members took up arms after Shia militants assassinated its founder Haq Nawaz Jhangvi in 1990. The militants eventually morphed into the Lashkar-e-Jhangvi or LEJ. Security officials regard it as the deadliest militant group in Pakistan and Afghanistan, the main proxy for Al-Qaeda and now Daesh in the region. It's been manned by Pakistan since 1996 and declared a global terrorist organization by the US and many other Western countries in 2003. It's killed thousands of people in attacks, including security personnel, political leaders, diplomats and Westerners. The Ahl Sunnah wal Jamaat denies any links to the LEJ, but security officials insist the group provides political and legal support to the militants. Experts say that's why, despite the effort to mainstream such groups, attacks have gone on.
Last year, this group has managed six attacks in the country, but these 6 attacks were big, high-profile attacks. And comparing with the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Taliban, which had managed the 70 attacks in the same period, has killed around 180, and in 6 attacks, this group had claimed around 150 casualties. So scale of their attacks always seems very high.
All that seems to matter little here in the Jhang district, the birthplace of religious militancy in Pakistan. The Ahl Sunnah wal Jamaat enjoys popular support here, as in other parts of the country, and many locals see the party as a champion of the poor and others neglected by the government. It's not the only extremist or former militant group to have contested July's elections. Allahu Akbar Tehreek managed a rousing campaign. It's a political incarnation of the Jamaat al-Dawa, led by the alleged mastermind of the Mumbai attacks, Hafiz Saeed. Although it didn't win any seats in parliament, it still managed to win thousands of votes. The most prominent group is Tehreek-e-Labbaik Pakistan of firebrand cleric Khadim Rizvi. He's led a campaign to protect Pakistan's blasphemy laws. Despite winning just 2 seats in the Sindh provincial parliament, the party's political clout removed an expert from the government's top economic advisory body. That's because the man belongs to the Ahmadi community, whose beliefs are considered blasphemous by the extremists. Pakistani governments have been hesitant to change the blasphemy law after the killing of Salman Taseer, governor of Punjab and an anti-blasphemy law campaigner. He was shot dead by his bodyguard, Mumtaz Qadri.
Mumtaz Qadri was one man. Now we have millions of Mumtaz Qadris ready. All praise to God. The day is not far away when Sharia law will be implemented in Pakistan, and God willing, we will take traitors like former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif to the gallows.
The religious militant brigade has long been a double-edged sword for Pakistan. It was once seen as a highly effective proxy paramilitary, used especially to push back much larger regional rival India in Kashmir and Afghanistan. But all that changed after 9/11, which brought a crackdown on the militants. Hundreds of activists were detained without charge and many died in extrajudicial killings. The militants retaliated, and thousands of people have died in bombings and other attacks. But Azam says the militant attacks are by rogue members, and his party has always upheld the law.
We have continued our struggle for the last 30 years through legal and constitutional means. We have continued this struggle while carrying the coffins of our loved ones and facing false cases against us. Despite the killings of 4 of my family members at the hands of terrorists, I continued my struggle.
But not everybody agrees with Azam's interpretation of events. Security experts say militants revert to violence if their parties fail in elections. They also give examples of what happens when the government remains silent about vigilantism. In 2007, students at Islamabad's Red Mosque launched a campaign to stop illegally constructed mosques from being demolished. They also formed vigilante squads and attacked and kidnapped residents they viewed as immoral. The government stood silently by. The crisis eventually ended when commandos stormed the mosque. More than 100 people were killed, and enraged militant groups launched retaliatory attacks over the next 2 years that left thousands more dead. The Red Mosque in Islamabad remains a symbol of what could happen if only forces used to crush Pakistan's militants and extremists. But it also remains an example of what's likely to happen if they take control. So, will extremist groups taking part in July's elections help end religious violence in Pakistan? Or will this be another failed effort to rehabilitate the militants? Shoaib Hasan, The Newsmakers in Punjab province.